Drink and chew to the beat of Mogu Mogu with fun fruit flavors and real nata de coco bits. Mogu Mogu, you gotta chew.
Distributed in Guyana by Saria Manufacturing Inc.
Yes, good afternoon. Welcome once again to the Wake Up Guyana show. Wake up! It's a wet day. Be very safe on the road today. You got to make sure, as always, that you're wearing your mask and that you are not seen or being among the crowds. The fastest way to do it. Our numbers are rising and they're fast running out of space to keep our people in the hospitals. I could tell you that yesterday. The Minister of Health led a team to the former Ocean View Hotel, which is a place that they're looking at, which has been converted into an infection diseases facility, and they were there inspecting it yesterday. It's a clear indication that they're fast running out of space, and they want to get things moving. So I wanted to get right down into the midst of things today and let us tell you that every single day we are going to ensure that we pass the message along. Be very safe. Be very safe. Be very careful when you're out on the road. Do not speed. Do not do anything that is going to endanger your life. And more so if you're without your mask. It's a recipe for disaster. You're opening up yourselves. You're opening up your kids. You're opening up your family to danger. You don't want to have any kind of circumstance in which you would open your family to danger. Nobody wants to do that. So a good day to all our beautiful people right across this land. I know it is just Friday and it is probably the end of the week for some working folks. For others, it's just another day. But whatever it is, I want to say thank God we are awake, that we could have started continuing life this morning, that we have another opportunity to make things right. And that is the way that you look at it. The glass is half full, not half empty. And so we want to make sure that we look at life in a very positive way. And so the message is going to continue. Wake Up Guyana only on Kaieteur Radio, 99.1, 99.5. You could also get us on Facebook, Kaieteur Radio on Facebook. Or if you don't have a Facebook account, you can go straight to YouTube and you could view us in the studio live here on Kaieteur Radio live stream, and you could get us there. So let's get into the midst of things today. Not too long ago in the court today, a lawyer, Darren Wade, and this is for Mr. Claremont Mingo, the return officer of Region 4, who has been arrested early this week. He has been at the CID headquarters being questioned about his role of the elections 2020, and it is alleged that he would have participated in a very big way in presenting figures which are fake, which are false, and he would have been accused also of playing a major role in the rigging of the election. So he's been questioned on that. This morning, his lawyer would have gone to court asking the Commissioner of Police and the authorities to appear before the court to answer why his client is being kept in custody. He withdrew that matter after being told that the 72 hours in which the authorities, the police investigators, could keep a suspect in custody is not up. In fact, it would have been up after 2 o'clock today. So he was advised to take it back and then after think about how he wants to tackle the matter. He withdrew the matter. Claimant Mingo remains in custody as we speak. That's a developing situation. Let's get right down because we want to, as usual, open these lines. We want to hear from you guys. I was trying to get Minister of Education, Priya Manik Chand, this afternoon, but she told me very late yesterday. She says, Leonard, I'm very willing to come on your show. I'm meeting with some stakeholders. We've seen how we could open school in a very controlled manner, and the meetings continue today. So I said, you go ahead, do your thing. So we are trying to bring all the authorities that we can onto the show here, but they're busy meeting because, schools reopening. We are hitting September the 1st next week. In fact, it is on Tuesday. That is going to be September the 4th, right? And so we are going to continue to bring the authorities here. I did try to reach out to the commander of Region 2 yesterday. People were complaining heavily about the attitude of one police officer who's involved in the fitness of vehicle. There were allegations. I received calls afterwards about many things that's happening here and whose hands were taking money and so on. I can only say what we are hearing, and I am going to try to reach out again to the commander there. But in the meantime, we are going to bring the traffic chief. There's a new traffic chief in the house. And when he takes that position there, we are going to bring him on, and so we can answer questions. Could a policeman who is issuing fitness check your oil levels and so on? I'm not sure. It's all part and parcel, as we know, of frustrating the process and make you want to stump up some money. And you and I know, everybody knows what we're talking about here, right? So welcome to this Wake Up Guyana show, and we head straight as usual into what our favorite newspaper, the biggest selling newspaper in Guyana, has to say today. And there's lots of news, a very important news, and we go straight to the top of the headlines of Kaieteur News, August 28, 2020. And if you're listening, Mr. Lal, Glenn Lal, a good day to you, sir. Very energetic man. It makes the young people around him feel as if he's miles ahead in terms of his energy, bounding about the place, pushing his workers, pushing his reporters to ensure that they get the news to the people and get the real news to the people. And he doesn't like too much of fillers, but that's another story for another day. A good day to you, sir. TNT Prime Minister Keith Rowley shows Guyana renegotiation is possible in change situation, gets more than crumbs for Trinidad's oil assets. Very good story here. We would have spoken about this when Trinidad found that it had a bad oil deal. Keith Rowley, when coming into government, he says, no, we cannot get crumbs from our oil deal. We deserve so much more. We are a stakeholder. We are a partner in our agreements with the oil companies who are operating in our country. So he decided, much to some pushback, even from within his own ministers, and then also from the opposition, who says that these deals are sacred. They have been sanctified. They've been signed in blood, and so you can't touch it. But he says no. If it's two partners involved in this business here and one partner is unhappy, that's no deal, and we're not willing to take crumbs. So this story here, it's a must-read story. It tells you very, very clearly that don't take anybody's word that any deal that is signed we can't get a better deal. Whether it's renegotiated, whether it's review, whatever you want to call it, somebody got to get something better. And let's go to the main headline. And these stories here are important to us, as we've been saying before. When you have your assets of this country, and we've been begging other countries, We've been begging bilateral institutions like the Inter-American Development Bank, the IMF, and the CDB, the Caribbean Development Bank, and so on. Could we get a loan here and there, a million or two, 500,000 to do this and that? And we have billions of dollars that's sitting there. It doesn't make sense, does it? That's not good business deals or business sense that we're practicing. So we want to make sure that we get a better deal, and we continue to push our authorities, our government, to ensure that they deliver. And so this fight here is not a Kaieteur News fight. It is not a Glenn Lal fight. It is not a government fight. It's everybody's fight. Everybody got to put their hand on the table and, say, Exxon, you need to do a little better than this. So we understand that you have a business to run, but we have a country to run also here. So, let's put this thing in perspective. Exxon's threat to take investment elsewhere shows how worried it is. Guyana has no reason to be afraid. Not a very good story here. This is Dr. Mangal, Jan Mangal. He was a former advisor to the previous administration. They would have severed his contract or did not renew his contract. And this is what he has to say. He says that, if you have, there's an opportunity that exists here for Guyana, very, very clear opportunities, that Exxon is on the back foot, if you understand cricket in terms. And when you say on the back foot means that you're in a defensive position, that Exxon should be worried because it understands that if Guyana is such a sweet deal, it makes a lot of profit off Guyana. It's dropped almost everything to come here. So there's some opportunities that exist here with our review of the PIARA or our talks with them. Our authorities here are talking to them. There's some opportunities for us to say, look, we can't issue you this license for your third phase of development called PIARA until, let us see how we could push in a little thing here and there. And this is a wonderful opportunity. So he says, don't believe that Guyana, if they're threatening you, that they're taking the money elsewhere. Don't fall for that. It is one of the ploys that are being used to cause you to blink and for you to rethink your position. But it says Guyana should not rethink. We have a very splendid opportunity here to get something better. And so there's this big photograph of Clement Mingo. This is not a situation that I like, for the simple reason our officials should not place themselves where they have to be arrested. This is when you're seated at GCOM. GCOM is supposed to be the watchdog, the regulator of the elections of Guyana, the elections machinery in Guyana. And therefore, when you're here, when you are before or you're part and parcel of this machinery, whether you're the chief elections officer, whether you're a returning officer, you should hold these jobs. It's like a reporter's job. You're the people's voice. You're the watchdog of what happens, making sure that you get that your money is well spent. It is not something that you take it. I've seen reporters, and we could talk about that. Reporters who have done some things, and you have to shake your head and say, "Wow." Is there no fair chance that we could, that they should be looking at the people's business? So we come back to Clement Mingo here. He's seated in the CID's office. There's a bag that's next to him. I'm not sure whether it is belongings. And he's seated there, this very big guy who stood and read out two sets of declarations for Region 4, which would have been the key region or the district which would have handed any party the victory in the election. And he read out some figures he could not substantiate. How did he get those figures? And that those figures would have, in effect, had they been allowed to pass, the court overturned it, you recall, would have seen some things that would put this country in no man's land. But for 5 months, we were in no man's land. So here he is sitting, in a very sorry state there. I saw Lennox Schumann says that he was there at the CID's office, and he saw Mr. Clement Mingo seated there, and it is not something, it is not something that he felt very happy. He felt sorry for the man, but the fact is, when you do something or you are alleged to do something, but he is innocent until proven guilty, but we should never put ourselves in this position. When you're being placed in a position of power, of responsibility, and a deep responsibility he had as an officer within the Guyana Elections Commission, and he's been accused of wrongdoings now. And so here he is before the investigators. A very, very serious business. For 5 months, this entire country was held at ransom. We were unfortunately at a standstill, at a stalemate. And so let's don't get the story wrong. Let's get it right. He is an innocent man until proven guilty. However, there's due process and there's repercussions for every action. So we are going to continue to follow that story. He remains in custody, claimant Mingo. EPA had dropped from the prior review, sent on leave. A lot of eyebrows being raised here. You would recall that Dr. Vincent Adam, as the head of the Environmental Protection Agency, would have been leading the way when it comes to, pushing Exxon to. He wanted to take Exxon to court because they would have spilled some oil. And here it is, last evening, it was announced that he had been dropped from the review, sent on leave. We understand there's more to the story than meets the eye. We're going to continue to investigate it. But along with the story here, there was an announcement yesterday also that the government of Guyana, because it has been paying close attention, people were complaining, Exxon is coming here, a lot of companies coming here, but what is happening with our locals? You call that local content. That what business are we getting? How much employment are we getting? So we were working on what you call a local content policy. And this policy would have outlined very clearly what is the obligations of Exxon or any company that comes into the country when it comes to oil and gas. And so what that company has to provide in terms of services, making sure that it gives some business to our local companies, what it has to give in terms of maybe education process, maybe some, let's put some money here into UG and so on. And so there is the government announced that they have retained or they have placed the former energy minister in Trinidad. I think Mr. Ramnarayan, Kevin Ramnarayan it is. And of course, this was no surprise, and I thought this was a very good move. Anthony Paul. Mr. Anthony Paul has been very vocal, very brave, speaking out about the faults of our local content policy or the lack thereof and what we should be doing. And they have retained him. And then there's also Mr. Floyd Haynes, one of the think tanks. He has a think tank down in Washington, D.C., in the United States, and he has some good background in finance. So they are all going to be part of this local advisory body on local content to the government. And of course, we would have had Sham Nocta and Kyle Greenidge. Kyle Greenidge, interesting one, because Kyle Greenidge was a former minister within the government. Within the coalition, he was a former finance minister as well, has tons of experience with our borders and other things. So it is good to see that the government is reaching across the divide and that it's bringing back people or bringing people who are experts within the right. So let us continue to follow this. We're singing the right songs right now, if you want to say that. So phase 2 of Eccles dump site building without the HDPE liner. And this is, if you're not familiar in layman terms, is that if you put in a dump site, there is something, the water system under there in which we uses for water, that it pulls the water, the wells that we have, pulls the water from those reservoirs there. And so if you don't put the dump sites properly, like what is happening at Eccles there, and you don't put the liners, the water from, or the liquid, layman's term, the liquid that is coming from the waste, it could leak into that water reservoir system, and then we pull that up. So they were going to build this cell site to dump garbage without this liner, this HDPE liner, which would have protected the liquid from entering into the water reservoir. And people have blown the whistle and that. And so this is something we got to pay attention. When we're doing things, let us don't rush into it. Let's ensure that people are protected, or else we could very well, on the long term, end up in deeper problems. Bandits stick up man in shower cart up $1.8 million, crime. We got to care for the man is in the shower at the shop in the hinterlands here. Farmer Soku had submitted certificate signed by dead man. Worrying story. We have many persons who have certificates that they've tendered about qualification, university degree. And in this particular case, the farmer Soku had Altair Padmore is alleged to have submitted a university degree signed by a man who could not have signed it because he was dead a couple of years before. And she would have submitted a certificate saying that she has a degree, a master's degree. And it was at Georgia University, I think it was Ashmore University. And so, how did that happen? How did that get passed? And now it's coming out. Maybe there's a two sides to the story, but that is the story that is coming out now. Alleged Ponzi schemers remanded after slap with multiple charges. This is a story that is not going to go away. A lot of people was hurt or are very worried because they've stumped up, placed a lot of money into Accelerated. Now the two people before the courts because they're alleged to collect money on the false pretense. Of course, you would have seen several persons would have protested or picketing the Vigilance Magistrate Court yesterday after those two persons, a Cuban national turned Guyanese citizen, and his name is Yuri Garcia Dominguez, and his wife, Atika Ishmael, were slapped with 20 charges between two courts. And the persons gathered in front, they're picketing, want them to be free so they could pay up the money that the company is claiming. This company, which says they were trading in foreign currency in overseas markets, that they have the money somewhere and they should be released to pay those money over. Authorities and the police are saying we could find no evidence or very little evidence that these people have any major assets here. We're afraid they are flight risk. This was the words of the Attorney General Anand. And so this is a case that is deeply worrying. We have to continue to look at the story here. GCOM IT technician arrested at probe continues. And this is his story. This was a man who was being accused of maybe playing a role. His video had made big news early in March at the Ashman's building there. So let's see some other news. Big news here in Kaieteur News. Future financial support for municipality hinges on accountability. Government is saying that it can't just give out money to the municipalities and they don't know how it's being spent. Elections petition to be filed on Monday. This is Joseph Harmon. He has been named or identified as to be the next leader of the opposition. And he's saying, the elections petition is on Monday. Health Minister elected as Guyana's Global Fund chair. CHNPA, let us see, CHNPA reviewing questionable allocations of house lots. And they're saying that they're not sure. They want to go back and they're going to put a halt on these house lots and that the applications that were given out. And so Manoj Narayan appointed as government commissioners on GCOM, Ganga Prasad to serve on Public Service Commission. Young man, attorney at law, as he's going to replace Robertson Ben. And so I think that is it, Let us be very careful on the road here today, and we are going to hit the lines in a very short while. We want to tell you that we are heading into a weekend. You guys, please don't gather anywhere. The numbers are coming in. The numbers are not looking so nice. I've been waiting. There's a big problem that we have right now. I think it's more than 1,000 tests of COVID-19 that would have been collected, including mine. I did my test last Wednesday. Today is, this is not this Wednesday, since last week Wednesday. So 2 Wednesdays have passed, and it's Friday now. We're heading into the weekend. I have not received any kind of calls to tell me what the situation is. I'm going to continue to follow that, but I understand that there's maybe about 1,500 or more tests that were done, but they haven't been able to process it. That's because there's a backlog. There's only one machine that's working. And so they're able to do about 200-300 thing per day. They're trying to work and try to get another machine. So let us see what is happening there. So be very careful, folks. I'm worried. I'm really worried for this country. We're talking about reopening of schools. We're talking about reopening of the borders. But we can't have a cavalier attitude when, we gathering in crowds. We having, we go into the supermarkets and we're not doing what should be social distancing. They're very clear. There are very clear procedures that have been mandated by the authorities, and they're saying how we should do it. But you know what? Let's get straight into the lines. Our number is 6222222. You could send your text there. Do not call that number, 6222222. You send a text there. Let us hear what is bothering you today. As usual, we want to hear from you. And of course, 225, is it 225? 7453. Some days I get mixed up so many numbers in my head. So 225-7453. We want to hear from you guys, and we want to hear from you all across Guyana. I know that you guys are out there. Want to say hello to the bus drivers, to the taxi drivers. We have many of them tuned in, listening to us, and be safe on the road. You know, you guys got to be responsible. You have a big role. You're in charge of our public transportation system. Make sure that you toe the line, that everybody in the minibus there, that they wear the mask. Do not take anybody into a minibus if they don't wear a mask. Do not enter minibus if the conductor and the driver not wearing a mask. If they're drinking or they're smoking marijuana, ganja, you get out of that bus. Do not take a chance. So it's a responsibility all around the place. The police, good day to you folks. The healthcare workers, we see what you've been doing. We know that you're under stress at the moment. It is a very hard time. You guys are really contributing to this country. So good day to you. We view you as the real heroes, along with the police and so many others who've been playing a role to fight this pandemic. And we know even at the Ministry of Health, there are lots of hardworking folks there. At the PS, how you doing, Permanent Secretary Colette Adams? How you doing there? And of course to the rest of the staffers. And of course, to a hard-working government, and hopefully the opposition you get on board, and our radio station is available here. We continue to open our place here for all parties, all sides of the divide. It's a Zierba radio station, and that's where we're at. So let's head straight to the radio. Good afternoon, you're on the air.
Good afternoon. I live in a Diamond,
Yes.
and I get a little problem with this costume thing and the police in Diamond, man.
What happened?
The couple of days ago, I know it was a little over 5, and the police come. They got a shop in 8th Avenue, and the police come, and they wherever they inquired the little checker was a little child was selling, and they inquired figure the station, but I know is the reason. Anyhow, after 2 or 3 days, they said it's like 3 days. They come back again, they still want with the station. I know is the reason, and I know if I could get help, because it's everybody in Diamond had the little shop in Diamond. They taking your money. They carry
Wait, me taking money. I want you to be very clear with that. And who are the police officers that are involved with this?
Okay. They got a set of officers come around to shop in Diamond. And if you shop a little late, a little after 5 or a little after 6 in Diamond, they end up now carrying the station. You got to pay 10,000 fine.
You paying that fine? Do they give you a receipt?
No. You're paying 10,000 bail or wherever they put you upon that you got to go back to court. And when you go there now for go to court, you know the money can be at the court can be a little bit more than the 10,000. So they got two choices: either you left the 10,000 with them, or you're going to pay the court fine. I know with the inquiry, if at the moment at the same
For
time,
your understanding, based on the regulations, what time are you supposed to close?
I know it was 6 o'clock, but we didn't. We was like 5:30.
I'm going to read on air in a very short while what the police have saying with regards to how the shops are going to be open. So, but I hear what you're saying there. I know the policemen are the thing there. So what you're saying is that you believe that they're discriminating, and one, they're forcing you to leave your bail money there. Have you left your bail money there?
No, but I encountered, I got a little child, but it's a couple of weeks ago, he was like on the road and in front yard, and they end up carried on. They take 10,000 penny for put it to court, and then he
How old is this child?
He was 17.
And what did they hold him for? What is the charge?
He was in front of the gap, and they claim that our man, the night thing or wherever, he's supposed to be out so late. But
What time was that?
That was like 6:30.
Okay, very good. I'm going to raise this issue here. I'm going to read out to you too, and you could listen what the police are saying with regards to the COVID-19 emergency measures, essential and other services, okay? But I'm going to continue because I'm hearing some stories like that. It's very difficult because it's a smarty way that some police are doing that. But and this is our Golden Grove Police Station that's next to the court.
Aye, they. Right now, then Tula come here. They come, they claim it 3 days ago. If at the same time 6 o'clock you come in.
No, but if the police tell you to go there, you have to go, right? You can't just stay away because they come for you. They come with an arrest warrant or something.
Good, I understand. But listen, at the same moment, when you come, if you break the curfew law, you come at the same moment, at least you carry the person to where you carry them. Wherever this situation, they go away. Because the shop was never, the shop didn't.
Well, let me tell you very clearly, sir.
Yeah.
The law is the law is the law. We've been calling because we know the dangers of it. If the people let them say, I understand that you got to have a living. It's a very difficult thing.
Yeah.
But everybody, even me on the road, and I'm well known,
Yeah.
when I'm going, the police are stopping you. Sir, are you an essential worker? I have to produce my badge. And I have to give it because I'm obligated to give it. The police are, I would be very upset if the police don't stop me and ask me. But I have a problem in that they're not doing the job. But make sure that what I'm going to read to you here, make sure that you follow it to the T because the police are going to, don't give them an excuse to do it. You have to toe the line, sir. You have to. We have to.
Okay, all right. Well, here, good. Okay.
But I'm going to raise the other issue about the police and the bail money and so on.
Okay, all right. This story happened 3 days ago. They didn't care nobody at the moment. But it's 3 days ago the story happened. They don't care nobody moment, but they come back very well now and they claim it we gotta go to the station. Is it possible we do? Because when we got it initially, they can say, what, you gotta pay 10,000 bail? Good. They can give a code. When I go back for the court, I can find how much is the code. They can tell me, man, you gotta pay about $30,000, and say, well, here, man.
I don't think so. I don't think it's that much. And for the sake of testing it, I would have loved to see how it goes. But I understand the frustration of you going there and so. But
Yeah.
don't open don't open your shop beyond. I'm going to read this here. I have it in front of me. I'm going to read it. Okay.
Oh, so just give me an ID. So they send for call me, as I tell you, when I go.
You should go. If the police send to call you, you should go. Do not
Good.
stay away.
I
You
can pay
should
the
go.
10,000 bail. When I go back again, and they tell man, I gotta go and pay a court fine.
Well, if it is that they say that you have to go to court, they charge you, you'd have to go. That is the rules.
Good.
And so let's see how it goes. And I would
Good.
love
And
for you
if-
to keep me posted.
Watch, I name Fabio Bodram. I live in 8th Avenue.
Yes, sir.
8th Avenue, me that number is 215.
Yes,
I go
sir.
go to the station, I can pay a bill. I can explain this how it's going to happen. Because it's more than one people. It's not me alone. I got a couple of well people who's there, and then I can come forward. But I can explain, I can call you back. I know if you can give my number, so I can give a response direct to what's going on. I can pay the
Call me
10,000.
through the switchboard at Kaieteur News, and there's after 3 o'clock, and maybe I could be able to take it.
You
from
give my
you.
number?
2258491.
2258491 by right down there. Okay, let me just give one more thing. As I tell you, I can pay the 10,000. Or whom bail I can put me for. And I can come. When I got the code, when I go for go the code, I can inquire to them and I can weigh up the situation. And if it can be more than 10,000, the bail I can run only every 10,000 with them. But I can give you a
Do not bribe any. You cannot tell me that you're bribing the policeman, and I'm telling you, and I would say that's okay. Do not do that. No, my brother. No. If you gotta go to court, you do the right thing. Do not do that. I cannot sit here and have you say that to
But
me.
they're going to want to do it.
No, sir. Don't do that. Do the right thing.
But I
Gildarie is telling you to do the right thing.
brother. So what do? Go.
You go and let the policeman, and you tell them that you spoke the thing, and if they got to charge you and go to court, you do the right thing. Do not do that. You see, when we start doing that, we facilitate in a culture that, why are you doing the right thing or why are you doing the wrong thing? I understand what you're saying, though.
Is the business this police them doing this?
Right. It's the frustrate. I know the games that are being played and how to frustrate the
good.
people, but let's do the right thing, right?
But I get a little sharp, and when I can go through the process there, I'd be done in getting sales ready. Relax, not to all.
I know how hard it is. Let me tell you this. Every single day I hear some sad story. You know when people lose a job? I was driving along Diamond Road this morning. And let me tell you this, I saw the Venezuelans coming in. There's a lot of Venezuelans who rent in place in Diamond and so on. And I couldn't help but think there was a time when we were running to other islands and we were running to other places. When you believe, as my grandmother would say, when you believe you're that bad, there are more people that bad than you. So I think we still living, we still making things. We're going through a very tough time, but do not do anything that is gonna. Do not bribe anybody. If the police call you to go there. Before next thing you know, something they come for you and things happen. We don't want that to happen, do you? But I'm gonna read this thing to you because there are rules and regulations, and you have to make sure that you follow it. I cannot sit here as a reporter, as somebody who's sitting in a responsible position, and say that you should stay away from the police. Police call you, you go to the police. And do not bribe them, okay?
Okay, it's not bribe. It's they can have this put
No, no, no. We're going to check it out. I have some friends. I'm going to call them and say, look, people are complaining.
Good, I go. I'll tell you. Thank you, sir.
God bless you. Have a good day. And this is what the police have put out. What you need to know. COVID-19 emergency measures, essential and other services, section 6.2. The following service may be open between 6 a.m. to 5 p.m. Banks and other financial institutions defined in the Financial Institution Act, remittance services and the support services, markets, supermarkets, fruits and vegetable stalls, bulk food store, neighborhood grocery shop, gas stations, postal and shipping services, funeral homes, beauty salons and barbershops, operations, inspections, repair and maintenance of essential services, including vehicles, vessels and aircraft, traffic signal maintenance, at automotive repair and maintenance facilities that provide direct support to essential businesses, hardware and plumbing, and electrical stores, clothing, shoes, bookstore, services necessary for the maintenance of residences, including plumbing, electrical, and extermination services. So this is between 6 and 5 p.m. 5 p.m. you should not have these places open after 5 p.m. So be very clear about that. So this is what the police has, they have been advertising. So if you're opening anytime after that, anybody, the funeral homes or anybody after that, you're going to have a problem with them. That's what they're saying. Do I agree with everything? I don't know whether you should close a funeral home after 5 o'clock because people don't tell you when they're dying. So that may be a very stupid one. But that's Gildarie saying that. So that is in essence what it is. So we go back and let's see if there's a couple of things that maybe we could tell our people. We have some people that is sending us the bond at, this is a text that is coming today. Bond at Fairfield. It's a residential area. The owner got to go ahead from the EPA to purchase paddy, and the dust is affecting the residences on the eastern side. This is Vilvoorden, the village after Fairfield, on the Essequibo coast. The owner, there's dust pollution from his rice mill. Please look into this. And so somebody is saying that, so we'd have to. Did Mingo get bail this morning? No, as far as we know, he remains in custody. His lawyer went to court and he applied, and they said the 72 hours is not over yet. So he's withdrawn his application. Mingo's 72 hours is up after 2 o'clock today. So we're going to continue to follow that story. Raj, do we have another call? Yes, good day, caller, you on the air. Yes, good day, caller, you on the air.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Hi, good afternoon.
Yes, go ahead. You're on the air. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, my comment is that I would like to know. Hello?
Yes, you're on the air. Go ahead. We're listening.
Oh, good afternoon, Leonard.
Yes, sir.
I would just like to know this COVID-19 restriction. We are accept all rules and regulation, but what become of the salesmen them in the store, in the bar? What become of them? They do not have to work with the prosecutor?
Are you asking if they catch you on the road after 5 o'clock?
No. What I'm asking, we are protecting the law, yes. We the people, consumer, are protecting the law. We're working with the law, but what is the shop owner them rules that they do not have to work with the latter?
I'm not sure I'm getting your question right. Are you saying that...
My question is that if you come to me shop, or if me come to you shop, me wear me mask and come, me got to sanitize me hand, me got to wash me hand. But I can't get handle it too.
Mm-hmm.
The point is that if me come to you shop, me got to sanitize my hand and wash my hand and put on my face mask, what become of you in the shop?
Well, you're supposed to make sure that you protect yourself.
Yeah, but they're supposed to have some responsibility over it too.
Yes, it is, and you know what?
Because them would demand you to wash your hand at the door or the gate, wherever it is.
Uh-huh.
But when you go to them, they do nothing to it.
Yeah, it is a problem. It's a two-way street. Everybody got to be responsible. The whole thing is that if I'm seeing, let me tell you this, if I got a shop and you come into me as a salesman, I want you to wash your hands before you come in, vice versa. If I come into your place,
That's fair. I think the police should have the one on the list that you had you read out just now.
yes.
So, what we come with the street men now? What I call them? Them fragrant.
The vagrants, the
Yeah.
people who are living on the streets.
Yeah.
Well, that is the problem, isn't it? That the
Yeah,
people
no
living there,
problem.
where do you put them?
Not that to put them, but I think they should be them should be in the latter, in COVID latter, because they're supposed to use mask and whatever.
Why? Let me tell you, we got so much of problems. We have a list right now of 1,500 persons. I like I just told you there. I tested since last week Wednesday, and I can't get back my test. We got so much problems here, and it is.
Well,
But I hear. Well, let me tell you this. I think what you really trying to say there, is our responsibility. Everybody got to be responsible, and it means that you have to educate yourself. What are some of the things that the government is asking for, the authorities? This is not something that they come up with of their own. This is something that the international bodies like PAHO, the World Health Organization, this says in order for you to be able to come out of this pandemic, this is what you need to do. So we are going according to those rules.
We are going to the rules, but others are not going to it.
Yes,
Because
it's an
let me tell
irresponsible
you,
thing. It's an irresponsible thing. Everybody got to do it. Everybody. I agree. I see it and I shake my head sometimes. I said, wow. I see people stand up in truck. I see people sit in the minibus without mask. I mean, how do you do that?
that is the point. Look,
Yeah.
for instance, we are protecting ourselves. And look in front of the High Court. Who protecting themselves then?
Aye,
Look
and
in
then
front of,
you have leaders calling for people to come out on the road, right? How do you do that? Do you love the people
That is
them
the
or you
point.
love yourself?
They are calling for their supporters to come out on the road and make and do certain nonsense, and them not got a mask. Them is not in the rule of the distance range. Look for yesterday court at East Coast Road there. What the court name?
Vigilance. Oh, that was madness.
look at
And
that.
and that was, somebody did make the point. People standing up right in front of the police station. And the police are the enforcers.
And
no-
they know they can't do nothing because everybody just cluster up the place.
it is an issue. I think when you get 2 or 3 policemen and then you got 60 persons in front of you, could you arrest all of them? That's the issue. We got to be very, very clear. And this indecisiveness is something that irks me all the time. If you got to arrest the people, you know what are the rules in any other country. If you break the rules, you're gonna pay the price.
You know, me does disagree with the kind of situation that we see in America and India and them plays up on the internet. But we deserve it.
Yes, it is, and that is what it
We
comes to
deserve it.
respect.
We people deserve it.
Respect for the rule of law, right? Respect for the rule
Yeah,
of law.
that's disrespectful.
It is, and I hear you, my brother. I understand what you're saying, but let me tell you this: charity starts at home. I would answer you this way based on the questions that you've asked. Charity starts at home. If you know what is the right thing, you do the right thing. Like I just told the gentleman there, the police are going to come to you. We know the games of the police. We know what they do to frustrate
Yeah.
you. We know what some people in government offices, like you go to a couple of the state agencies, and we know how they could frustrate your process. If you got an application for something in today, tomorrow, guess what? You got to pay them a bribe, right?
Exactly.
Stop paying them the bribe and see what happens, and start opening your mouth. If you start opening your mouth there, because you know you have an application and you haven't done anything wrong, you start shouting and see how fast the manager would get down to there. I'm not saying that we should descend into a country that is going to be an unlawful country that is Wild West. But sometimes it takes drastic actions in which to get people attention.
Next thing I'm gonna raise to you, my brother.
Go ahead.
A few days ago, I went to some store in town, and it was disappointed to me for know that I have a clot around a rag around my nose, my face, and I were not allowed to go in the store.
What they told you?
They say I can't go without a mask.
That's an interesting one. I don't know what to say there to you, but it comes back to education, because if you understand what the mask, what it do, and maybe somebody's not thinking, But you're gonna see that from time to time. But the good thing is that the good thing about that is that they're demanding that you wear masks. But I like to see things on the positive side.
No, but the point is, me would wear mask. I have no problem, but I would not buy mask on the road.
Right.
Because me no know who got finglam and tinglam and digglam and sliglam.
Yes. And I think you got to
That's
wash
why
it
me
if you're
use
buying.
what I have.
If you're buying, you should wash it out and things like that. But if you don't
As
wear,
I tell my sister the other day to buy, but make sure they got plastic on it.
yes. And that's the thing. Anytime you buy it or so, I got a friend that was sharing out, and I asked her for a couple. But when I got it, I washed it before I use it.
Yeah, obviously you gotta wash it and
Yeah.
the friend that no government can't save we.
No. We
Right,
have to
right.
save
This
ourselves,
is
my
what people
brother.
fail to understand. Government cannot save we.
Right.
Jack they one in front, all can't save we.
No, we have to start. The charity begins at home, my brother. Charity
Yeah,
begins
but
at home.
the people them are neglecting the rules. So if whatever penalty they gotta go through, they have to go through it.
Yeah.
When I talk it like joke the other day, me say who want dead, then I one bar Jack they one all in there.
No. Well, we should wish that
They
for
can
all.
look at rules and regulations throughout the world. This thing there. And you not see what takes place, Guyana got 700 or something register people. And people and millions are there.
Hold on.
If that-
Suriname,
if that Guyana.
Suriname and Trinidad almost were COVID free. People were being sent home. There was nobody in the hospital. Guess what? You check that situation back right now. That is because this thing is not going to go away in a little while. If we want to come back to normalcy, we have to ensure. When I say normalcy, because I'm not sure whether there's going to be a normal world after COVID-19. The entire trade and everything has been disrupted. I think our way of life has changed now. We're starting to even start paying attention to what we do, how we wash our hands, and how we be around people. So this thing is probably not going to go away, but we have to start, being a little more responsible. That's the bottom
It
line.
will go. It will go, but we have to make it go.
Right. It's our attitude.
Look, me not live in town. Me live in quarantine presently now. Me one town man, yes, but me live in quarantine. Me there in town presently now.
Yes, sir.
When me left quarantine a few weeks ago, quarantine had no registered COVID-19. Now they get 13, 14.
But 5 out of that case, I'm not sure how much more. 5 out of that case is 5 people that came across the border and the Cubans, right?
Yeah, 9 or 5, 9.
Yeah, I think it might have been a little more, but I had 5 things. So it is. I hear you, my brother, and thank you very much for calling in.
Yeah, my brother, take care.
God bless you. So good day to our good folks on in Burbies. And so, is it safe to be in an AC room while other people are entering without mask? That's the reason I do not want to go and take a test. Let me answer this right away. I went to Herstellan Health Center, and the test facility, it's a metal box with the health workers inside. So when you enter the compound there, they make sure that you wash your hands with the soap. Of course, you're wearing your mask and so on. And they place you to see you're sitting 6 feet apart at least, and you're waiting there. You do not go into the building. In fact, you're standing. You're not even sitting when they're doing it. They stand up. They say, take off your mask. Just make sure that the mask cover your mouth. And then they bend back your head, and it takes like about 3 seconds. It's not if you're a relatively strong person, it should be over, and then you feel some burning in the nose. It takes about 3 seconds or so, and they say it's over. But it's not a situation that you should be putting yourself in to do that test. Not a lot of people like it. They say it's very unpleasant. So I said, get it over with and done. It's like an injection that you're taking. But you should protect yourself. But it's not, they're not keeping it, I think, in an AC room where you walk into it. I think they're very smart about it. Their procedures and so on when it comes to how the tests should be taken. So let me see. Note these names. Good afternoon from Boston, Massachusetts. Nothing is worse. All the way from Boston, Massachusetts, the U.S. Nothing is worse than people wearing masks only on the mouth only. And this is a very good thing that this person has said here. It brings back to the reality the rules and procedures. You don't drive with the door open, do you? If you have a car, would you open the door and drive? No, you wouldn't do that. what you would do is if you have a mask, you cover your nose and your mouth. Why would you put it over your mouth or under your chin or hanging it sideways and, people talking, you take it out to talk to them? Why would you do that? Come on, you guys. So make sure that you protect yourselves here. So we go back to the lines again. Good afternoon, caller. You on the air?
Hello?
Yes, you on the air. Go ahead.
Yeah, Mr. Gildarie?
You're a little low. Could you raise the volume or could you raise the voice a little?
Yeah, Mr. Gildarie?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I got a problem. I work at estate
Estate. Which estate?
for 20 years.
Which
And
estate?
Contribution, when I go and check my contribution,
Yes.
only 94.
94. How much years you work?
20 years.
And which...
Cut it. Out
wh-
of crop, weed grass, clean trench, and them things.
which estate is this?
Diamond LBI.
When you go to Gaisuko, what did Gaisuko say?
Guys who cool when we go LBI, they said they go call me back. And they never call me back. I go to and more. They said they go call me back, they never call me back.
How much time you went to them?
Huh?
How much time you went to them?
I went to and more 2 times. And LBI 1 time.
But I think the headquarters is in LBI now. I'm going to have to ask you to do one other thing now. And I want you to feed me back because that... you got to name and shame these people. Guys, Suko has so many workers, and this is not the first time that we've been receiving this. You go back to Guys Suko and said that you spoke to the radio station, and you tell them that you're here. When did you retire?
No, me retire,
You still working?
The estate be closed down.
Uh-huh.
Yes, and then we close, the work close up. But we been done complete 20 years.
And that 20 years would have taken you past the 750 contributions?
Supposed to pass 750. Because out of crop, we used to clean canal, weed cane, replant cane, and then things.
And
And when you go 10 years straight-
who told you that you have 94 contribution? That's NIS?
NIS by Camp Street there, by the jail.
Wow. I'm going to ask you to go back to Gaisuko. And do you have any documents or anything that you would have been working there, like pay slips
me-
and things like that?
All me pay slip last.
Hi.
Pay slip.
But they're supposed to have a record. Jay. Go back, tell them that you spoke to Kaieteur News and they're very good people there. And let us see where to go from there. I want to hear because I have families who've been affected this way. And Gaisuko tried to do that. We would have had NIS recently. And NIS says that they try to work. And we know that, when they hear and the NIS tell us one thing, but people are saying that the frustration is real, man. You go down there and it's a lot of pushing around today, tomorrow. We hear those kind of situations
Yeah,
there.
because me are close to NIS pensions, 57.
Yeah.
So, I'm glad if you know that,
All right. Well, what you're going to do for me, you're going to go back to Gaisuko because if they could be able to pull back your records, tell them you don't want to hear this thing here. And I think the Diamond LBI estate closed years ago, right?
Yeah, they're closed.
You need to go back to them and you need to start working it and start behaving bad too. You need to start behaving bad and let me know how that works out. And if it is that I need to make a call to Adriana Thomas or one of them there, or even Mr. Paul Bim, because you can't have a big organization like that and you're not keeping proper records, but you're giving them more money now to spend. We got to be careful with these things. You need to look after people.
Well, I go back, find out, and give feedback.
Yes, my brother. Thank you
All
very
right.
much,
Thank
right? God bless you. So when you hear these stories, I would not like to be working anywhere. And then, when I'm finished working, they said you can't find any contributions. And this is a good thing too. Here's some advice for you guys. NIS is saying that you could go online as long as you have your NIS number, put it in, and you could be able to see your contributions. And so you should be checking regularly because you never know. Suppose your worker, your employer is not sending it, it is really frustrating hearing this man, and I presume this estate would have been closed, the LBI Diamond Estate, so many years now. And here it is so many years down the line that he is complaining. He is complaining now that, that he's been pushed around. A lot of poor people here. These things are not nice things. It's not good. And how do you imagine state agencies? It's very frustrating hearing these things day in, day out, and you hear so many people, a lot of people suffering. Hi, good afternoon. So let me see here. We've circulated videos of this theft on Facebook. When we went to follow up Wednesday, the police said they don't have any info as yet. And if they would have called us, even published it in the Chronicle newspaper. And this had to do with a car that was stolen on Monday. A report was made on Brickdam the same day. Until now, no news from them. I'm wondering whether we have to do our own investigation. Please help. This is okay. Let me see. Somebody's vehicle was stolen on Monday. A report was made to Brickdam. Commander, what is happening here? They said no news from them, and the videos are on Facebook. We went to the police on Wednesday. They said they don't have any info yet. So here is what I'm going to suggest to you. You go back and ask to see the commandos, say that you've spoken to Kaieteur News and we have asked you to get on to them because I know the commander there is very proactive. Ask to speak to somebody there. You need to do that. Do not go to any other investigating rank. Go straight to the commander's office and tell them that you spoke with us. Thank you very much for that. And so let me see. I appeal my NIS case. They short pay me by 10 years. When I go to the NIS office, they told me that the Melanie office tally the contribution every month. I don't understand this. This person need to call me. I'm not very clear what they want to say. I appeal my NIS case. They short pay me 10 years. When I go to the NIS office, they're telling me that the Melanie office tally the contribution every month and for me to come back. Keep following it. Keep following it. We need to hear NIS. NIS need to start being a little more proactive in these cases instead of looking. You should do this and do that, and then hear back from NIS. Not good enough. Good afternoon, Leonard. I know the business have to close at 5 p.m. Can you say what time could people be on the road? I think it is up to 9 o'clock, but after then you should have a good reason why you're on the road. But you can be on the road, and you must follow those guidelines, meaning that if you're going into a supermarket or wherever it is, how long supermarkets are open. But if you're on the road, it's okay. You're supposed to be doing something. You can be liming, but it's 9 o'clock is the curfew. That's what it is. So thank you very much for that. Let's go back to the lines. Good afternoon, caller, you on the air? Yes, good afternoon, caller, you on the air?
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon. Could you lower your volume on the radio or take it off?
Okay, yeah, that's
Good afternoon, sir.
yeah, I lower the volume.
Yes, go ahead.
Listen to me carefully. In the past government, when the PPP was there, right?
Mm-hmm.
When was the luncheon? When you close LBI estate, the president supposed to say, look, get all these people contribution in order. They never done that. So that's a helter-skelter all over the place. You understand now?
Mm-hmm.
Now, Raja Lanchon was headed that board. And there was a helter-skelter. Believe what I'm telling you, man. Now, we got a problem here. Right next to me, the well board. And the guy that come and they said, they're not them job. You don't get the lines, mama, door lines. And over a month now, nobody never even come back here, man. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm listening. And nobody ever come back.
Nobody ever come back. Now the PPP come in government, thank God, and dig the back trench, they will dig the other trench, and the water drain and come out. But the only problem that we have here, that when the NDC tell these people who make stand in front, that they must put wheels that whenever the strength got to it, and they don't want to move. So I don't know what's going to be. The NDC should get the police and let the highman bury them. It doesn't matter if you vote for PPP or who you vote. The principle is the principle.
Of course.
Are you with me?
Yes, of course.
And these are the things what happened. Then I want to move. And you got one person, one black chap. This is a road back there, a CI housing scheme. He took one whole section, like when he owned it, and he put power up and all these things. I don't know what really going on in Scotland, and the NDC that live right in the area.
Well, isn't that an indictment on the NDC? Because if the NDC and the state reserves lands that belong to the state, you can't block it off. Under no circumstance could you do that.
But don't me say, now, may I want to show you something. In front of me, they put this water meter, right? And then I cut the line and I put it on there. Me go and me dig one hole because the line burst 2 times. Vehicle run on the dirty and break the line and me put it. The wrong one I bring NDC for me must dig out the post for people can move and go into their house.
Mm-hmm.
If you get a chance to come and say, I can show you what's going on. I can show you the scheme. You just call me number,
Right.
and I will be there at Swami. And I'll show you. And now we put it there because me a clean the carpet, a government carpet. Me a clean them. NDC never clean me drain. And me a clean drain. They want me just for back the dirty because let me tell you something, me a safeguard me pipe. You like your carpet, you must get clear it. Me carpet clear. Let me look after me, you look after them. This is the thing for them. Because they happen. They campaign for PPP. And I agree, but not because they want to use your power. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the hot farm, they used to share in before they vote in account. And when I share this farm, me live right neighbor, nobody never give me, they give other people. And they give friends and family. And the goods are share. I don't know who give the goods, I don't know who donate, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I give, but I see people, I need the goods, friend. I see people who really need.
Right.
And you got 3 bodies working in a house and want to get pension and them take goods. That should be done. You should have give people the goods to people who really need. I don't fear nobody.
Mm-hmm.
I had a big cousin with me because when I asked them, I said, man, the list of me sister say, don't check if I check them. The man cost me want me business with them, want me concern with them. I said, I'm sorry, man.
Mm-hmm.
Me tell them I'm sorry. Right?
Uh-huh.
But that means you two should ask if them finish the year, but check people name that the name there on the list.
And this is a list for the COVID-19 assistance.
Yeah, and
So wait, I want to be very clear because we haven't really, I'm seeing different stories. People are saying people are going around and take the names of people. Who are these people that's coming around and take the names?
no, I said when there's been a share the goods,
Uh-huh.
not just before they recount.
That was a long
Who
time.
donate the
Okay.
goods, but, they were sharing the goods and thing, right?
Uh-huh.
But they bring the goods and give me after 3 days, and they bring goods and give me, I tell them, sorry, I don't want.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't need.
Right.
I'm a pensioner,
Uh-huh.
and I don't need. Take it and give somebody else. But I see that people who really need, brother.
Yeah.
Sure.
All right, I hear you very clear. Let's see, man. You see, one of the things,
Well, I tell you, these are the people who do the work for them. It's going to be the nasty one to get the government bad name.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying?
very, very clear. So,
Yes, they are the one who's going to do this nonsense. Look, some kind of $10,000 my chair, I don't know where or where. I don't interested, man. Let the government take the money and tell my bobbies where it should be closing and LBI and more and give the people them. You catch what I said?
all right, I hear you.
Because see what happened. I was going to say everybody actually working, man.
Yeah, man.
I'm seeing this every day.
All right, thank you very much, dear sir, and do happen to have a very good day,
Right.
rest of the day. Thank you very much. And so this is what I have to say to you. I would have learned that there's some areas, especially in the Barbies area, people going wrong, and they are taking some lists. So it looks as if this has to do with the COVID-19. I'm not sure who these persons are. I know there's some exercises going on. If anybody knows, you could type it and let us know how that is happening, and so we could be able to tell the people. But I've asked for requests to have the officials on the show, so we could be able to tell the people a little more about this COVID-19 assistance that is supposed to be happening. So let me see if I could read some other messages here. And by the way, this gentleman said something that really, I should tell you, if you're living in a community, and we can, let us keep the surroundings clean, especially in our community, maybe 2-3 yards around us. I'm not saying for you to clean the neighbor yard, but like for example, where I'm living, opposite me is an empty lot. Well, there's a small house that somebody built there, and he dumps everything out in the yard whenever they weed the yard or so. He doesn't live. but he dumps everything out. And so when I'm reversing with the car, it's straight up into wherever he's dumped it out on the road, on the parapet, his parapet. So I saw him and I went up to him. I said, Do you live here? He says, No. I said, But you can't be dumping it. He says, Man, somebody dig the drain and throw it there. But I said, But you have an obligation to clean the parapet. Even if somebody dig your drain, and the NDC and I think the Ministry of Agriculture did come around with a high mark, and they were doing some work in our area. I think an excavator, small excavator. And I cleaned up my area, but he left it there. And I told him that you have an obligation to make sure that your parapet is clean. Maybe it's out on the reserve, but we have an obligation. We should, at least that's the attitude I think we should be taking. And so we do that, and we keep our place clean. It looks good on the eyes, and it's good for it's a healthy environment. And we can have a country that could be comparable to others overseas. That where you see cleanliness, you see so many things that is good for this country. Good afternoon, Leonard. I thank you very much for keeping us informed. My idea, if the government makes haste to give out the COVID-19 grants, I think the COVID-19 can be under control sooner or later. By doing so, people can afford to stay at home and there are chances for a reduction of the COVID-19. I agree with that. But first of all, you got to find where the money is coming from. The government always has money. How much is this going to cost? How much should you be giving out? Could it be a hamper a week? Could it be a hamper every 2 weeks? We need to know all these things because you don't want it to say that you spent $10 billion. And of course, this government is supposed to be very responsible. They've now gone in. And then you don't know how the $10 billion is being spent. So we got to be very careful. If you're buying hampers, who you buying the hampers from? Is there a contract that's being given out? Who's getting these contracts? So there's many things that goes along here, but we are in a pandemic and there's some emergency measures that needs to be taken, and that's what it is. So there's a caller online there, Reg. Good afternoon, caller. You're on the air? Yes, good afternoon, caller. You're on the air? I don't think we would have missed that.
Hello?
Yes,
Hello?
go ahead. Yes, go ahead.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Leonard,
Yes, it is.
I'm calling to find out from you, right, if housing in Georgetown have a new minister.
There are two new ministers. In fact, about two ministers in the Ministry of Housing and Water.
In Georgetown.
Yes.
Why I'm calling for us? Because remember the lady told you about the transport, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, the lady will tell you about the transport. I'm not getting my transport.
Yes, this across the river or something?
Yeah, no, goes, Zilla Pastry.
Yes.
I went in there to the girl, Miss Means, right, at Bam Reading Hoop.
Yes.
And she told me that she's not getting through with the transport problem yet. So I told her, I went and I tell her, I said, that long waiting. And it's enough time now. So please do something about it. You can't sit here and not do nothing. Anyhow, she decided to call the man, right? And she isn't getting with the man. And the man told her that he got COVID-19 and he's in the hospital. And he going to come out and go and look after the people. How he going to go with COVID-19 there? That was the follow Friday, right?
Mm.
How he going to come out and go there? And the man told her he don't want this land, right? I can't understand what she's doing. So that's why I want to know. I can't even go now to the ministers here now because for the COVID-19, you know how.
No, I think there's some open day that the ministers are meeting with the people. I'm going to have to try to find out a little, but I think they're meeting with the people.
You have a number for her or he?
What I'm going to do, I think the Ministry of Housing, they have announced. I'm going to try to get some time, which days it is that the Ministry of Housing, they are meeting with the people. And I'm probably going to announce it on air because I know some of the ministers, although the COVID-19, they have put in measures into place. I even saw a photograph of Robertson Ben coming down out of his office at the Ministry of Home Affairs, coming down to meet with the people. So maybe I'm going to read out in a very short while when it is that the ministers are reaching. I think that I did see a notice somewhere that they're meeting with people on specific days. I'm going to try to get that and read it out on here.
Okay. The next thing I have to tell you about this COVID-19, these things were going on, right? A lot of people is walking without masks, and they get together. When you go in the stores and for buy, they don't have a mask there. They talk telling you to keep distance, and when they don't have one mask now, and you tell them that you have on a mask and you keep in distance, and you don't have on a mask, and you're telling people to do that. You know, the people in the store don't have the mask on.
No, it is, and guess what? It's not only there, it's all across the country that people are doing some crazy things, and I'm wondering, wow, aren't you looking at the news? Aren't you reading the newspaper? What's happening? What else do you want me to say to you? You know you're going into a minibus, and there's a possibility you don't know the man next to you. Even if you know the man, you don't know whether that person got it. You got to protect yourself.
Of course, because they're working with it, they don't know who has it, and they just keep spreading it. You understand?
Right, right.
Me and my husband, we at home, but when my husband going out to buy something, he always bring mask and sanitizer. And I always tell him to keep distance away till your time we to go and catch, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't really go out there. I don't go out there. I try to go out there. But I just have my mask with me. You understand?
My girl, just make sure that you continue to protect yourself. This is all I could say to you. Protect yourself. Don't bother with anybody what they're doing. We have to ensure that we do that. We have to. All right?
What I'm saying to y'all, right? Y'all try. Y'all got to see these people them. Y'all got to do action to them, man. The hard days, the stubborn.
I don't know what else to say. I'm hoarse right now. It's more than 5 months I've been talking. I never really realized I would have become a radio person. Y'all made me do that. But guess what? It is what it is.
Thanks for that, because you always, you mean Leonard,
Yog Mahadio. I'm going to meet him tonight.
Yeah, and I thank y'all for that, because without y'all, we don't know what's happening in this country. You understand?
All right.
Good.
All right, Mama. Thank you very much. Right? Yes, have a very good day. And this is coming from Boston, Massachusetts. My parents, hello Leonard, my parents were still living in Guyana. They're in the 60s and 70s when the pandemic and shutdown started. They informed me that they started to plant produce and vegetables in the yard. They said that it now becomes self-sufficient during this time, and it's brought back great memories of when they used to plant back in the old days. Maybe people can use this time to spend with the children and teach them things and bond during these times. There's always a silver lining in the dark cloud. So very positive words here. While we might look at it that this is it's a very bad timing that this COVID has really attacked us. Let us look at some opportunities. There may be some opportunities for businesses. There may be some opportunities of offering services to our people. And so you don't look at it that it's all bad and there's no getting out of here. And somebody here is saying, hi, good afternoon, Leonard. Please shed some light on this online schooling and what will happen to the students without internet. That is a big problem facing the authorities. I did have a chat with Priya Manik-Chan, Minister of Education, the last couple hours, and I was trying to get her here today, but she is busy meeting with the stakeholders right now on this very same issue here. And so I know that many of you, the parents, want to know what's the final decision. Already the University of Guyana has made it clear this week here that the first semester leading into the new school year, they're going to do online classes. The big problem is that a lot of persons who are attending may not have access to the internet, or because of monies, and so they're not going to have access to that. That is what some of the discussions are. How do you get the syllabuses, the curriculum to these people here? Could we do it online? Could they be gathered somewhere and there's a lecturer in a room somewhere else that is probably going to be sharing the lessons? These are what is some of the things that are being contemplated, being asked by the authorities right now, and they're meeting with the stakeholders. I know that the Minister, Priya Manik-Chan, would have been meeting with several parents, teachers of the kindergarten, of the secondary school and primary schools, as well as the technical folks within the Ministry of Education, the Learning Channel, and so on, to see what are some of the options that they have. And they're thinking there's going to be a mix not only of those forums in which I've highlighted, which is one, the internet; two, the learning channel; three, television, radios, newspapers, and so on. They're looking at several things that they could be done. Um, and so you guys got to be very careful out there as we continue to get some information from the authorities on not only COVID-19. Finding $4 or $5 billion is not something that's easy, especially when the economy would have taken a hit. The non-oil economy, that is the agriculture and so on. Rice would have done pretty well. Gold is looking good. The prices have remained around the $1,900 mark, very high. But at the same time, on the other side, you would have seen bauxite and the other areas would have taken a licking, a beating. And so those are not things that are so very good. The oil, there was a slowdown on the oil activities. It's starting to pick up in terms of that. Exxon never stopped. The people were coming in and out of the country. You pass along the East Bank there in the Houston area there, the shore-based activities that are happening, lots of containers going in and out. So there's some spin-offs from that. How much does it impact? How much is the ripple effects to the Guyanese economy? Well, that is what we're trying to determine now with the local content activities is ongoing there. So before we head back to the lines, let me see if there's any breaking news that is happening. Yeah. So let's go back to the line, Raj. Good afternoon, caller. You on the air?
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
I'm calling from the village of Laluni.
Laluni on the Suzyklinen Highway. Go ahead.
Yeah, I would like to raise a concern. Well, when the previous government was in power, they was giving a new pit bull to the community, and they used that to transport the school children to and fro. When the PPP was in power last time, they was given a bus also. So they leave the old bus down, and when the PPP had rally in March month, someone burned the old bus, and no one did anything about it.
So they're asking for another minibus here?
Get you.
They're asking for another vehicle here?
No, someone burned the old bus that the PPP had given when they was in power.
Uh-huh. So
and no one did anything about it.
What the police, did they identify the culprits?
No one did. No police. No one didn't do anything. No one didn't look into it.
Wow. So what in essence, what they look at, they want another bus right now?
Yeah, they got one from the app, no.
Oh, they got another bus and that bus is okay?
Yes, that's okay, but the one they got from PPP, someone burned that one, and no one did anything.
Wow. And which month was this?
That was in March, after the PPP had rally.
They should, somebody should go back to the police and try to find out from them what's the status of this investigation. Do they have a suspect?
No, no one didn't report anything or that sort.
Wow, no, but you can't expect the police to not to do an investigation if they don't have a report. Somebody should take it up with the police and try to find out if they did anything or so. Sorry, we lost that call there. Gonna come back to that. Let me see some other messages that has been coming in. And this, good afternoon, sir. My pension, I'm getting $20,500, and when I don't pay light bill and water, only $4,000 remain. I would like to know if the government will raise the money, or if they cut off the light, cut the light and water because I'm a pensioner. This is a very, very sad situation. A lot of people are living day to day. I wouldn't say month to month. I would say day to day, hour to hour, because of this situation here. Senior citizens are dependent on families and maybe a little help 1-2 days from others to help them. I don't know. And I think this is a very good thing. This is a good question. $20,500. We have billions of dollars in our oil industry there that we could get and that we could be able to pass out to our vulnerable in the society, our elderlies. Government, you guys are listening, the authorities. These are some of the questions being asked by the people. How do you survive on $20,500? Which also brings us to the vicious cycle. We have to start paying attention to NIS, make sure that we pay our dues there because it helps us on the long term. I know of many persons that are working, self-employed persons, they don't pay attention to NIS and things like that, no taxes, and so they get paid and they take the money, the bank it, they do whatever it is. At the end of the day, when they reach 56 and the money runs out, you don't have a cushion to fall back on. You're dependent on a 20,000 old age assistance there, and that's it. Very, very sad situation. So it's an education process all around. And if you know somebody that is doing something that, they have a workshop. I know many body workshop, many persons who have shops at home, they just pay the little taxes, whatever it is. I pay a lot of taxes. In fact, my taxes, I'm being told, is maybe even more. Raj, here it is. My taxes that I pay is probably even more than what some contractors are paying at the end of the year. And they rake in millions of dollars. But what they do, they get good accountants and they cook the books. That is some of the sickness. And you see sometimes when they lose the business and you look back 50, 60 years, they have nothing. They have nothing to get from anybody. So, when you toe the line, there's some benefits. Yes, NIS is going to screw up. NIS is not going to do everything. But it's better for you to have a foot in the door than not to have any foot at all. So, last night I got so very upset with GT&T. Every day I'm going to talk about GT&T. Not going to come off of that. The internet, I'm paying $10,000+ per month. It's hard-earned money. It's not easy to fork out that kind of money. You have so many other expenses that you have vehicles, you have your grocery and so on. And the internet remains crappy. GT&T takes a lot of money out of this country. You guys got to get your act together. You've been here since the 2000s. You came here. It's 30 years now. You've been taking money out of this country. This is a cash cow for your operations, for that U.S. company there. And you guys are giving a 6 for 9 to the Guyanese people. It's not good. It is fraud what you're doing there. You give them the internet starts good. Next couple morning, the internet, bam, it goes down. I can't complain about landline. I don't really call on landline. The internet is key. Everybody does everything in the internet. And the issue is crappy. I understand the big thing that they were sharing out about the Blaze. The Blaze is also crappy. I know that my good friends down at E-Networks there have started something. I hope that the government is listening and start bringing in these other companies and let them compete with GT&T. You cannot. It's untenable. It is unfair. It is robbery to allow one company to be taking or to be doing this to the people of Guyana. Disrespectful. They need to get an act together. If you have a contract to provide services, give the people them the services that they deserve. And not only GT&T, so many other companies come here and they do things and, they give the people them a low quality because they believe that the people have no kind of recourse. You have recourse. You could go to the PUC, the Public Utilities Commission. You could go to the Consumers Consumers Commission in Sophia. You could complain about the quality of services. GT&T, not good enough, man. Let's go back to the line. Yes, good day, caller, you on the air. Good afternoon, caller, you on the air.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes, you need to take off your radio or shut it down later.
I take it off.
Yes.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I have some issue here, man. The other day I went to a Chinese here.
A what?
A Chinese store.
Yes.
I have on my face mask. Right? The Chinese say I cannot enter the store unless I buy one of their medical masks. So I say, what nonsense is that? I have on a mask. I know they tell me I can't enter the store.
Wait, you went in with one of your masks. What kind of mask you were wearing?
One of those masks that they sell on the road is the one that is stitched, the thick mask.
And they told you can't enter. You need to buy one of their masks to enter.
Yeah.
I don't want to believe what you're telling me there. Nobody would dare do that.
I'm serious.
Wow.
I'm serious.
And what did you tell them?
I mean, the guy had an argument, and I said, no, hell no, I'm not going to buy a mask from you, and I have on one already. So I leave. I said, well, sorry, I can't. And I leave, and it was a big argument. That is one. Two, The police, then I think they should have a little mental checkup like every 2 years or so, because some of those police on the road don't know how to speak to civilians. You know, they, like the other day, one had stopped me. I must blow my horn. I must check my wiper blade. But one of my wiper blade actually fall off. Charge me for that. And the sun was hot. No rain wasn't falling or anything. And he charged me for one wiper blade. You know.
Wow.
Next thing, in the afternoon time, they're telling you, I don't know if they're the certifying officer or what. They're stopping you. They're telling you to sting your lights. Now, I mean, a ball don't tell you when it blows. You know, and you're not behind the car. If you have a damaged brake light, you know, is their duty to, you know, warn and say, well, okay, don't let me see it happen again or whatever. Change your light.
Well, let me tell you this, sir, and this is how I would respond to you. With regards to the vehicles,
yeah,
I have my vehicles, and I'm obligated. I check my oil every week because I don't want to get into an argument with police. They have their job to do. My job is to make sure that I think if I come in home, because let me tell you this, sometimes you drive in and you don't know that one of your light is gone. I think we have to ensure that we do that. You don't want to get entangles with the police. Entanglements, as they call it.
I mean, you could leave your home and you check
right.
and everything working, and boops, and a sudden it blows.
Right.
How would you be able to know that the bulb is blown?
Yeah, well, you see, some policemen, they ain't gonna do that. I got a call after I left the program yesterday. I went down and somebody called, and they said, you know, policeman, this man is billing, this man is certifying officer for fitness. And this man is linked up, and this man is building a mansion. If he doesn't, he says that if the man says, if he doesn't take home $100,000 a day, he's not going to feel comfortable. And I said, but who takes home $100,000 a day? But I raised the issue with you because there's a lot of good policemen out there. Lots of good policemen. Hardworking, very, very respectful and respectable. And then there's some others who look at the poor people and they look at them as prey, and they're the predators, and you would not believe. That's why I told you I stopped the other day and I saw them fix the road in Diamond there. There's a big hole, and standing in front of the hole, and they're watching people coming with speed with a gun. I said, instead of you doing that, you need to pick up the phone and you need to call the people at the Ministry of Works to get that hole fixed. That's what you need to do.
Exactly.
I was very rude to them.
And don't talk about the police them and Diamond. They're so corrupt. Believe me on that.
Well, I'm gonna have to have a chat. Somebody complained something there.
I mean, respect to the president and everything. I mean, checking into the police force.
Wow.
A lot of wrong has been doing in there. I mean, there's quite a lot of good policemen out there. You know, but these younger generation ones that coming in there, man, they buy one fast money, man. They find all kind of charge. Even if all your documents is okay, they come up with something just to charge you and frighten you and try to see if they could get money out of you. You know, and then they're cooking up the charges and say, oh, the charge is over 45,000, 45,000. No, you could left for 5,000 and we forget about everything.
Yes, I thank you very much for that, my brother. I hear you.
I need, Mr. President, if he could either publish these rules of the road.
I'm going to bring the traffic chief here on the program. I think he's getting himself settled down right now.
At least they could highlight the drivers them what is wrong, what is right. You know, say if a policeman stop you and tell you something, you must be able to, you know, correct them right there and then.
Right.
They need to publish these laws of the road.
Right. I'm gonna try to get it, but we are gonna bring the traffic chief. I think he's getting his feet wet because obviously
the new traffic chief better get there. He's a good man.
I heard so. Well, let's see when he comes. But we'll have to, you know, continue to put the pressure among the pressure because we must get better.
I remember when I saw him on the road and so forth, you know, when he was doing some campaigning on the road. He's a very nice guy.
Yes.
You know, it's okay that the president make a good choice here.
Yeah.
But I just need to pull the strings here and there, you know.
Yes. All right, my brother. Thank you very much, right?
Much for your time.
Yes, thank you very much, sir. Have a pleasant rest of the day. So thank you very much for those callers there today. And so we have about half an hour. We're going to open the lines again and we're going to get a couple. I did receive a message just now from the folks down at Glasgow Housing Scheme. Glasgow Housing Scheme. This is New Amsterdam area. Good day to you guys there. Beautiful area. I like New Amsterdam. You're there and you see a lot of history there. Lots of good buildings. There's a couple of good hotels there. If you want to get away out of Georgetown and you want to, if you have some money, there's a lot of good hotels on there, and so you could probably stay over. But you look at the buildings, a lot of history there. Glasgow Housing came New Amsterdam. The people complaining about the internet there. Poor internet. GT&T, what's happening? All over the place, people complaining. Have you stopped doing your expansion or upgrades? Have the people been forgotten? You need to come out and say something, Mr. Ned. And what is happening to the PR people down at GT&T? Have you stopped working? Has this pandemic, have you pulled back? Are you still in the country? You need to say something to the people. That's not good enough. So let's go back to the lines again. Good afternoon, caller. You on the air?
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Can I speak to Leonard?
Yes, you're on air. Go ahead.
Okay. Leonard,
Yes, ma'am.
I just want to tell you that when PPP was campaigning, that the first thing they said they got raised pension money from 20 to 40,000. Right?
They said that as soon as they go into office, they're going to do that?
Yes, and said that.
Yes.
Then again, I said they're going to take off all the tax from the food stuff them.
Uh-huh.
That nothing there happened up to now.
Well, I think they're meeting. I'm not sure whether it's how many weeks now? About 2 weeks now since the government was sworn in.
I know, but me not hear they saying anything about it.
Right. We're going to raise those issues with them. Obviously, I think they're listening because they know. I think the president has made it very clear. And of course, we just give them a couple days to get themselves together. Maybe a couple of weeks.
Do it soon because you're really in a bad condition.
Yeah, it is. It is. It is. And I think, let me tell you this COVID-19, this pandemic, is really a lot of money being diverted. You know how much money that you have to buy with masks and all those kind of things, keeping people in hospital.
I tell you something.
It's a lot of money.
I tell you something. PPP sharing out hamper, and then come and take me name and number down.
Where is this?
Give me nothing, not even a phrase.
Where is this?
This is in the West, Bell West, number 2 canal.
And when did they share out?
Me here 2 times, I share Mother's Day and I share with 1 week before. And then come and take me name and number. Nobody gave me anything.
Well, I can't say.
Nobody looking in my direction. I'm an old person. Me unable to go out anyway.
Well, I'm not sure. I'm not sure about who was sharing out, because we not. Remember, we a newspaper and a radio, and so.
I know
right,
that, but
right.
I'm just telling you to let them know what really going on.
Yes, a lot of people complaining about different parties sharing out and they're choosing their own people. And so.
I even call Freedom House and tell me they're going to get back to me. Nobody never get back to me.
And they never get back to you.
They
Wow.
never get back to me. I'm an old person, I'm 80 years of age.
Wow. All right, I guess people hearing some of the complaints of our people here, Belwes. People are watching. I know there's a funny thing is when you believe people are watching at your action, people are watching and judging, right?
Yeah, man.
I hear you there. What is the situation in Belwes there? You're pensioner?
Yes, I'm a pensioner. I'm 80 years of age.
All right, my dear. Just hang in there, man. Our country, we have to get better. We have to continue pushing.
I ain't hearing saying anything, man.
I know. And we will continue to ask whenever we engage with the government officials so very often. And we are going to continue to ask them about some of these promises. Let us continue to have some patience and see what happens. But I will tell you something. Kaieteur News, Kaieteur Radio is not a political party. We have our job to do.
I know
we will continue to hold the feet of the politicians. Whichever side of the divide that you are, we're going to make sure that you do your job. And so we're paying attention. We're hearing some of the cries of the people. All right, Mama? You take care there. So the good lady there all the way from Belwes on the west bank of Demerara. beautiful place that has been developed there. And if you go to the back of Bell West, heading down to the Conservancy, a good place to fish. Be very careful though; it's very deep there. Lots of fish there. The community there, farming, lots of farming going on there. Sugarcane, rice, and of course you have the cash crop, and you have some hard-working people there. Also, there are a lot of crimes down in Bell West there. Couple boys smoking up and they're doing something there. So, good day to you there, the lady that called there from Bell West. We paying attention. Let's see how that goes. In the meantime, let's get back and get some more messages from our people. I think Guyana should tell Exxon that we take back some of the hectares of land from them. Well, it's not land. There's a lot of acreage that they would have gotten in terms of concession and give it to another company to invest. Very good. Let's start thinking of that. If you have it and you believe that, I think every couple of years, under the concession, under the agreement that Exxon and any company that they have in Guyana, they have to give up some of the concessions, some of these areas that they have been given. And I think Exxon has already started doing that. And it is good. It's in keeping that you can't control all these things. We should open it out and give it to other people. Lots of oil out there, and we will continue to put them to the sword, or how you say it, hold the feet to the fire. That's what we do, because the oil belongs to us. And we want to partner in a very good way, in a very good natured manner with Exxon, but it has to be on a level playing field in which we get a deal that we believe is fair to ourselves. There's no other excuse. There's no other reason why we should not get a fair deal. We believe that at this point in time, while we did not know better in 2015, 5 years down the line, we are a little more aware. And what we are very much aware is that this deal that was given to us, not a good thing. And what you have done there, ExxonMobil, you've taken advantage of maybe the ignorance of the people, ignorance of that we probably didn't know. And what you've given us is a very screwed deal. So we need to come back to the table, and we need to ensure that we get a better deal. Thank you very much for that, ExxonMobil. We're looking forward to some couple of days from now in which you would come to us and say, look, we should do something. Let's do it in the interest of being good partners. That's all the people are asking for. It's not hard. It's not very hard, is it? So, Raj, do we have any other thing that we want to tell the people from the radio there? We should go back to the lines. Let's hear from them. Good afternoon, caller. You on the air?
Hi. Hello?
How are you doing? Go ahead.
Hi, Gildarie. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, my brother. Go ahead.
Right. Well, I heard your talker saying that the traffic chief. This is something I was wondering for the last 15, 20 years. I want to know if there was ever a traffic chief, especially for the city of Georgetown. Because the amount of lawlessness I've seen for the last 15 years and getting worse. So I was wondering if there was ever a traffic chief. Anyhow, with the guy coming, a lot of people say he's good. I know he only work a little while. But
I think it's Mr. Ashram, right? Mr. Ashram.
I know it,
Yeah.
because I'm driving on the road.
Yeah.
Why I can tell you, Gildarie, first that I am driving on the streets of Georgetown I'm driving for 5 years now. So that would tell you I'm driving before car even get 10,000 a year in this country.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing every day more and more violation that is taking place on the streets of Georgetown. First of all, why I ask you about the traffic chief, because I see in certain parts of Georgetown, you got these big cabs park up and selling things from. Truck park up on the side of the road and sell it. And it's not to say the outlying area alone. In the city, you go around, take a walk around right by Muneshwar building, by opposite Water Street, opposite Bumpy Farm. You would see, you were paying driver's license, insurance, fitness, everything. You are not getting access to park, and if you stop, little careless, the police want to lock you up. Look, take for example, right to the corner of Wellington and Regent Street. You don't have parking. I want to know if there ever was a traffic chief all these times. Look Look, I can give you two examples we're going on right now, and I know you know about one. Coming down the East Bank by Gildarie.
By where?
Gildarie.
Digar.
They put up these yellow-orange cones in front of their business. When you come just before you reach the back road there.
Yes.
When you come wrong.
Yes.
By Meadowbank,
That's by the tourist park area there.
Right. I know you see it because I know you coming down from the East Bank. Secondly, at the corner of South Road and Cam Street, there is Citizen Bank and Demerara Bank. These two banks put in front of their premises no parking. Demerara Bank would then, although they got to no parking, then put these orange cones. When you go to carry someone at the bank, you have to stop in the driving lane to put off somebody. But the police come up, you get locked up. Nobody want to hear nothing. On the opposite side is Citizen Bank. People would go and stop in the lane that allow you to turn left from Camp Street to South Road.
Mm-hmm.
And people just throw on their hazard lights. Police drive fast, police ride fast, police walk fast, and nobody does anything about it.
It's madness,
the last time I remember,
It's madness.
It's madness. That's why I'm asking you. I want to know when Ashram come on your program. Please, I'm asking you, I'm begging you, Leonard, let us have at least 60 people calling into him. Give us the opportunity. I would like to know if the traffic chief is having any restraint to make he cannot do his job properly. Because sometimes we might know that people are hamburging from removing these people who parking up and selling from the side of the road and taking up space. These things have to stop.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only way he can function. You understand? And he needs to tell us. Another thing with this fitness, when I learned to drive cars, and that was Morris Oxford and Backside, you used to go to East La Peniton and Brigham.
Yeah.
And you just drive over the pit. And the guy would go down there with a bar. And they used to like pry your steering in and your rocking and them thing and ball trying to make sure they're all right. I am ready to take the traffic chief, the commissioner of police, the Minister of Home Affairs, all of them to this challenge on a daily basis at Brigham and East La Peniton. If 200 cars get fitness, only three or four actually go in the station to have the inspection.
And I know most of them come outside, they come give the vehicle, the vehicle documents.
They give them $3,000 for a private car. That is what's going on. They have to take out some of these things out of the system. These people don't inspect your vehicle. I could come right now at Kaieteur and show you my vehicle. I had to get fitness in May month. The number plate where it bolted got two little crack. You know what they tell me? I can't get fitness like that.
Wow.
I can't get fitness like that, Leonard.
Mm-hmm.
And what I'm saying, the law stated clearly, my number should be visible at a certain amount of size. I reach all the requirements. It is nothing to do with my number. You know, I end up getting the fitness the next day without changing the number plate.
And you got to tell me how you get it, right?
No, I mean, you know. They got to find a way to change these systems. And right in front of Brigham right now, you would go there and see car with the number plate right in and meet the requirements.
Well, I said the more things change, the more it remain the same, eh?
Yes.
I hear you very much on that, my brother.
And our government, this government needs to be a government that listens to the people.
Well, let me tell you this. We got to, like I tell the man, the only way to change this, we got to start changing ourselves. Don't pay bribes.
Exactly.
Start opening your mouth. Start shouting. Start behaving bad like when you're mad, people, because that's the only way, that's the only language these people believe and they understand.
Under the traffic law in this country for a hire car, you pay for 6 months and the next 6 months you get it free. But nobody don't get that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
That half year, what you pay for the next half year, you still got to pay again. And that part of your money go into the traffic rank pocket.
Well, we got to hear. You guys hearing it very clear? The people are talking and the people are saying that we have some very corrupt ranks out there.
Right.
And so when I come and with my car, I mean, don't ask me for bribe. I ain't paying no bribe.
Exactly.
If I feel like give you a lunch money, it's a different thing, but it's not a bribe.
And if you tell me all of these things are the requirement by law and I have all of them, then I should get my fitness.
Yes.
I shouldn't have to give you anything.
Man, you guys here. This thing is easy. And let me say it. And you raise this point as it's in my head right now. If you got to pay somebody bribe, start taking pictures and start doing something and let us get those pictures. We can start doing that. Record them, man.
You know, one of the way I'm saying to the new government, and they went there before, they know. You have to keep listening to the people. I'm not saying everything we tell you, you should do. You, the traffic chief with the Home Affairs Minister and the Commissioner of Police need to open a day. Now where they're telling you, where they're at least giving you a chance to tell them certain things and listen to you and walk around the city and see the biggest problem. I, as a taxi driver, don't charge you for the destination you got to go. I got to charge you for the time it takes me to reach the destination.
I hear you.
That is the whole problem. Leonard, keep up the good program. And I think what you're doing, everybody have a say and let them come in.
Yeah, man, we trying to do it as little as was. I wish I could do a little more, but we trying. We gonna try to improve on the program as we go down.
Every ministry should send a representative, if not the minister, one time a month to you.
They're gonna come. They're gonna come. I think we're gonna make sure that they come.
They were coming when they needed we help, and now they get there. Don't forget me.
No, nobody's gonna forget me. We're gonna hold the feet to the fire. I think they're doing the work, but let us see.
Yes.
Our job is to hold the feet to the fire. Okay.
To make sure they do it.
Right, sir. I hear you very much.
Brother.
Thank you very much, sir, and God bless. And so, good afternoon. I'm sending you this message because I want to know why they're only stamping one page of the public assistance, which is 1 month alone, when they used to stamp the whole book. We'd like to know why that is so. I don't know why they're doing that. I'm not even familiar what a public assistance book look like, but it's time to learn, isn't it? So I've already requested that the Human Services Minister or her designate, this is Dr. Vindhya Prasad, or designate, come onto the program. Let's talk about public assistance. Let's talk about COVID-19 assistance. Let us talk about how you're going about these things. If there's so many questions to talk about, and so I'm going to continue because we got to have these people, we got to talk about these things. Let's come back to what this gentleman would have said about fitness and so on. The more I'm thinking about it, the more I think that the more things change, the more it remains the same. It looks as if there's a rotating, we playing, what do you call it? Is it musical chairs? We keep exchanging these people, or we keep moving these people, and they come in and they do this. These are privileged positions. If you become a certifying officer, it's like a money maker. It's like it's there. Let's do a job. So you have 10,000 instead of 10,000 vehicles on the road. That's what we hear hitting the roadways every year. You can't have 5 certifying officers alone to look after this thing. It's like a passport office. You could not have one passport office serving the entire Guyana. Maybe that's a good thing that the past coalition government did, having a passport office in every region, or every county. What I could tell you is that you cannot have one certifying officer that's at Brickdam. You probably need to do a little more. But what is not good is that you frustrated so much that the people would come in. You can't certify 200 vehicles a day, but you are giving out 200 fitnesses per day. How is that happen? How is that possible? Because we could do the math. If it takes one vehicle 5 minutes to get into the Brickdam police station, and it takes another 5 minutes to get out, how many vehicles if you're taking 1 hour lunch? That's fundamental maths, right? So we have to look at it, and there's a couple of things that the authorities down at the police stations. But if if they have a will to fix the situation, if they don't want to fix the situation, but they continue to have it as a money-making business. We hear people complain about Anna Regina yesterday. Commander, if you're there, you got to be listening to us. The people are calling. My job is not to cover these things up. My job is to say to you that you have an issue, And if you're not fixing the problem, then you're part of the problem as well. And so, Raj, these things are very, very serious. People are seeing what is going on. People are saying to the authorities, you need to fix this. We have the Minister of Home Affairs. How are you doing, Mr. Robertson Ben? I know that you're a very serious man, that you don't tolerate incompetence, that you fight. I'm telling you that people complaining about some officers, some ranks within your jurisdiction, within the police force, who are involved in corrupt activities. That's what the people are saying. We need to have it fixed. People are talking about, there's a on level playing field when it comes to how people parking and things like that. So that's with regards to that. We could probably have a couple of other messages here. And let us see. Hi Gildarie, Parfait Harmony Police Station need a Guyana flag for the past 6 months. Still no flag up today. I'm not sure why they have no flag there. What's happening in Parfait Harmony? Where is our flag? You need to have our flag. Good afternoon, Leonard. I'm from a community by the name of Kaieteur. I never heard anyone talking about that community. Things are very hard. They don't have any jobs. People do a little farming to survive. We don't have any internet there. We have to come out of our house and walk along the road to get a call, to call a family. So it's very hard there. So I'd be glad if government can do something for this community. Kaieteur. Where's Kaieteur at? Any idea? I heard the name, but forgive me. So many names. We have to learn about our country. But the folks there were complaining about Kaieteur, and they're saying that nobody's paying attention. We have to pay attention to these little things here. As we come down to program time, let us see if we get a couple all the way from Canada, watching from Canada. Good day, Leonard. Love the way in which you answer the question and the way you go about getting things. Thank you very much for that. I'm trying here. I don't have all the answers. This thing is, let me tell you how hard it is to manage a program like this. You're reading messages, you're taking calls, you have to pay attention to some of the comments that are coming in too. But guess what? The radio is here. It's not fully there. We're trying to get our feet. What we do know is that I would like to see a radio program that meets all Guyanese, that we'd have our commissioners, we'd have our ministers come in here, they answer questions, that maybe I would have 2 assistants who could come on, and Gildarie could probably go back to his writing, and then, we have people taking over and do it, because there's such a beautiful thing in which people could be able to have an opportunity to raise their voices, to complain about certain things that they're seeing, like what we're seeing here today. People are getting bolder, people are getting, they're becoming, empowered, and they're seeing things and they're opening them out and say, look, this is not something I want to tolerate, or they want to ask some questions to get clarifications. This is what we want in our country, that we should make our contribution. We should make our contribution to a safer place, to a less corrupt place. We should raise our voices to ask our government to do a little better here. We want a better oil deal. We want to see, systems work. We want to see GCOM work. We want to see our banking system. They offer better services there. Our banks got to do a little better than what they're doing. They're overwhelmed. They don't want to spend money to offer the people a good business. We want to see our telephone companies, instead of giving the nonsense and the crap that they give for services there, you need to get your act together and start giving for $10,000 per month. What you given there, it is not service, it's something else. You're giving the people and you're not doing any maintenance, or you're doing something else. And so we're not gonna sit still. We have our telephones here, 6222222, that you could send your messages to, that we could be able to hear from you. Continue doing that. We're going to continue to build this program here. It is what we want, and we have the facilities here. Let us use it. It's not fully there as yet, but we're going to continue to improve that. It has been a very good day. Maybe I could read 2 more messages before we call it, a good weekend for you guys. You guys have come on board and, keep us company, and I feel very warm inside knowing that our people care and I want to see a better Guyana. Good afternoon, brother. Bless you. You're doing a great job. Well, thank you for that too. Good afternoon, Leonard. I think that the police should get international help concerning this Ponzi scheme. The matter is before court, as you know. Let us see if the police are going to put more charges, what is going to happen. People are paying attention. The road, good afternoon, Leonard, the road just before Horstel and Mandir, well known as the Overhead Tank Street. I know this place, yes. A lot of vendors are there selling vehicles. You should stop in the middle of the road to buy from these vendors. And people have to wait until they finish buying. Traffic backing up. They don't care. Yeah, you can't hold your business on the road. You got to put it in such a way that it doesn't stop that. There are people who have business. They have hardware stores on the road. Some of them are my friends. You guys got to do a little better than that. You got to have better traffic control system. That if you have your business on the road, whether it's a tire shop or whatever it is, you cannot inconvenience the rest of the people because you want to do your business. Let's do something better. What are we doing? Let us improve this. Let us improve our systems that we have here. The police are passing up and down every single day. The police, you got to know that you cannot back up traffic on the road because of one business, and you see it and you do absolutely nothing. That's not what you're there for. So good day there to our Commissioner of Police Acting, Nigel Hoppy. How are you doing, sir? Crime Chief Wendell Blanham, a good day to you, sir. Welcome back. Let's see if things could improve. We want to say a good day to Mr. Clifton Hicken. I understand that you're back in the force and that you're very serious about what you're doing. We hope to have you maybe one day. I heard that you're a very engaging person, and so we want to engage you. The people want to engage you. So we come down to our program time. We want to say it has been a good day here to the Wake Up Guyana show. We want to wake you up. Not wake you up in the afternoon, but wake you up to smell the coffee, to the issues affecting us. And that is what this show is all about. I am Leonard Gildarie, and thank you for joining us here on Kaieteur Radio 99.1, 99.5. You could, this evening, Dr. Yog Mahadi and myself, we're going to be in room 592. And so that's going to be interesting. A couple of days back on Wednesday, we would have had Bibi Shadiq, Commissioner within GCOM. And if you missed that, you could get those shows, all the shows, in fact, on Kaieteur Radio, on Facebook. You could get us on Kaieteur Radio live stream on YouTube as well. So it's all there, your big radio station coming to you right across this beautiful land of ours. And, of course, to you overseas, as usual, you guys have been very interactive with us from Canada, from the U.S., right across Europe, across the Caribbean here, and our neighbors. Thank you for joining us, and don't forget our beautiful people in Guyana. Stay safe on the road. Make sure that you mask up, that you wash your hands, that you don't put yourself in a situation. If you see madness going on out there, stay far away, run away. Do not put yourself or your children in something that is going to expose them to this pandemic. We need to protect ourselves. This situation is not going to go away. Have a pleasant rest of the day until.
Drink and chew to the beat of Mogu Mogu with fun fruit flavors and real nata de coco bits.
Mogu Mogu, you gotta chew. Distributed in Guyana by Saria Manufacturing Inc.
Kaieteur Radio.
Covering Guyana from coast to coast.
Demerara and Essequibo 99.1 FM.